bottom. You can't see it because my brush is super big. But are these rocks at the bottom, are they not epic? Are they distracting? Are they making it less epic? And then you say that, you say, I think this is about epic skies, and I think that the lines are making it very epic, but the small rocks are making it not very epic. And that's how you sort of couch a very subjective, very opinionated, very personal sort of um, criticism in a way that helps the creator, a way that helps the writer, helps the artist. Um, think about it in terms of what's working and what's not. Another way I've heard people say it, which is a little less long, is that you make a sandwich of a compliment, a criticism, and then another compliment. Because it not that artists need compliments all the time, but it actually is really hard for artists to tell what they're doing well. So it is important to note if something is going well for a painting, that it is going well, so that they know for next time. Like when look at my work, it feels very neutral. I often don't feel like it is a good or a bad piece. I just feel like it's just a mess. And so I tend to look towards other people to try to tell me, is this a good painting or is it not? And it's hard to answer because I guess that depends on what I consider good. And so I actually have to get into the practice of deciding what I think is working for myself and what isn't. Um, grass is super long that I've added. I don't know why I did that. I was talking and I got distracted, but now there's grass, so um, that's fine. I like the lines. I'm enjoying the lines. I probably have to go back to the reference picture and determine if there's something else I can sort of add to these clouds to make them more believable as clouds. I'm not trying to make them realistic. I'm trying to make you believe that they're clouds, which is different. No, this is definitely more stylized than real clouds. Uh, 1 second, I'm gonna take a break and make some tea. So I'll be right back with more clouds in a second. Okay, hello, I am back. Uh, and I like all the hearts. Cute purple hearts. Now, where was I? something about clouds, yes? It's definitely looking pretty cloudy. I often feel like I'm in Memento, if you've ever seen Memento, and I like sit back down to my work and I don't actually understand what I was doing. So in Memento, he has memory issues. He had an injury, and so whenever he's somewhere, he has to decide what's happening. So he's like, I'm running. Am I being chased, or am I chasing someone? And he'll find out through context clues before he forgets again what's happening, and that's what I'm doing. A lot of artists make notes for themselves while they're working, and I did that at the beginning. I think. Where is that? Where is that group? There's the group. Oh, it's behind a bunch of stuff now. But I have some notes on what my goals were for these clouds. Um, it used to be in front of everything. I could actually put them in front of everything again. There should be up here. Yeah, and so that's, I'm trying to make very structured clouds that you show the scale through texture and size and have differences in opacity. And opacity is something I don't really know how to edit. So, lost there, I think. But, yep. Well, the next thing I think is I was going to consult my reference picture and decide what I could add to it to make it feel more like clouds. There are these, so I was going to analyze this. There are these rows of clouds, like there's kind of a burrow in the clouds that come down. Tall bits are in between them, kind of like moguls on a ski hill. And I could try to restructure my cloud a little bit to show these lines. I could probably also edit the transitional zone between the dark side and the light side to get this weird gray color that kind of shows up only right here on this cloud. Then it goes into the shadow shape. And it's very soft, but it still exists. The only really hard edges of the clouds are where these tops of these peaks, where the key light is hitting, meets sort of or is in front of the bottom of another peak, a bottom of, in the shadows. The shadows are very blurry. So I could come back in and try to recreate that effect on the clouds. So let's see, where are my cloud groups? So this is what I've been doing today. I kind of missed some of it. So these are the fluffy bits and then the lines. And so now I can come back in and I can edit where the edges are really distinct and where the edges are very soft. And so I think that for this I'm going to probably this brush. I like this brush a lot. It's not as liney as the other one, but that's okay. It's got a little bit of it in there. Uh, let's see. Jack, can you still hear me? Excellent. Um, well, let's see. So the hard parts are right over. I don't want to undo what I've already drawn, and that's important. So the hard parts of the cloud are right where the sort of tops of it are in front of shadows. So I'm going to come back in and I'm going to really outline in whatever existing color there is on here the parts that are light, like that. Probably should turn this. Where did my brush? Gotta be a hard edge. Gotta be a hard edge right here. Hard edge. kind of tell the difference. It's very minimal. I could go in and soften a little bit too. That'll help right here. Anywhere that the shadow is meeting non-occluded side of the cloud. So if it's not a puff in front of another puff, it is actually very smooth. So if I come back in, and I just very gently, since this has some pressure dynamics on it, on the pin, very smoothly come over and over on this part, or this, draw my pin over and over on this part. I can make the shadow side and the light side blend together very smoothly. Probably also, I think in real clouds, this edge right here would be a little bit smoother. I'm not going to smooth it out too much because I want this front cloud here to be very distinct from the rest of the clouds, and that's kind of just a personal artistic choice, I guess, artistic license. Not sure what you would call that. I don't want to go over too much of the lines that I've already drawn because, you know, I spent a lot of time on it, and just like with watercolors, you don't want to undo the work you've already done. You want to build off of it. Not trying to reinvent the painting every time you add a layer, you're just adding a little bit more. So strokes of this should be sufficient. Is my audio still good, Jack? Not too loud? You don't need to look at the picture. Oh, have you muted me? Okay. Not too loud, not too quiet? I guess you didn't want to hear me in stereo, did you? I'm going to add a few more brush strokes to the bottom here to sort of hint that there are more clouds, even though there are not. I'm not going to draw them. I'm going to let your brain fill in the gaps. As far as the clouds are concerned, I might actually even I could add a shadow up here too, of like another cloud that's even closer. That could be something that this painting could use to really set everything back. I mean set back in space, not set me back like in time, set my work back. I could add a little bit of the bottom of a cloud. Look at it on a different layer. It does kind of help frame it. This is a pretty major compositional change. I know it's just one line, but it really feels very different to me how this painting is starting to look when I have that bar on the top keeping me from moving my eye up. It's like it forces everything else back in space a little bit. I want to keep it pretty dark, I think, because anything on the edge I usually try to maintain as darker than anything in the center. It's just a habit, it's just what I like. There are probably good psychological reasons with sciencey answers as to why that feels nice, but I don't know. It's kind of like the number 3 or 7, or how you don't like things paired up in odd numbers unless they're triangles. It just feels right, darker. Probably a little too dark. I want it to kind of stand out though, so I'm trying to get just the right color. I'm noodling with it. Noodling is bad, but I'm doing it. This makes it, I feel like this makes you feel like you're underneath the cloud cover. Instead of the clouds being in the distance, they're right here. I think that's nice. I think that it's desirable. I think that is making the sky look more epic, which is the sort of the thesis of the work. This is an epic sky. So if you were criticizing it, you could look at this and tell me if you think it's making the sky more epic or making it less epic.